So, good evening, one and all. In our previous class, we have checked about different gates. We have started with the basic gates like and, or, and not. Okay, and we have done some of the problems how actually if it is a TTL logic family or an ECL logic family, how actually my floating outputs, okay, sorry, floating inputs or open inputs will be there, what to consider. And today we'll move to the another type of gates. Those are actually universal gates, you can say. Mainly universal gates are NAND gate. So we'll start the thing from there. Okay, we'll see how actually NAND gates and what are the different uh, problems will come up in the questions and all. So this will be actually NAND gate. So obviously you know the functionality of NAND gate in digital electronics. NAND gate are also called bubbled OR gate. How? I'll tell you now. It's also called bubbled OR gate. Okay. So obviously NAND gate is nothing else. It's very simple. It's just a and invert. Okay. A, B. So obviously Y will be A, B, bar. So if you apply De Morgan's theorem, we can also write down this in this manner, break the bar and change the operator. So this is AND operator, it will be changed to the OR and break the bar, A bar and B bar, okay, A bar or B bar. So see here, why is it called bubbled OR? So see here, what is OR? So we know that this is my OR gate, okay. So I know that this is my OR gate. So bubbled OR means if I'll put a bubble over here, prior to the input. So this will be my A and this will be my B. If I put a bubble over here, this signal will act like a bar, A bar. So this will be now A bar or B bar. Okay. So you see here, A and AB bar is now acting on A bar or B bar. So these two gates are now equal. Okay. NAND gate and bubbled OR gate are both are equal. So what is the functionality? Functionalities can be obtained from the truth table, as we know that A, B, Y 0 0 0 1 1 0 and 1 1. So obviously NAND gate functionality will be 1 1 1. This is 0. So what do you understand from this? If both the inputs are high, then output is low. Okay, if both the inputs are high, if both the inputs are high, both the inputs are logic high or high, then output is low. Okay, so this is actually basically about the NAND gate. NAND gate also can be expressed in this way. That is new thing actually you want to know today. You know today, that is a bubbled OR gate. Okay, so now this also can be used in disable and enable way. This gate, NAND gate, also can be expressed in disable and enable form. How is it? We can see here, and what is the functionality of it? We'll see here. So let's say this is my NAND gate. As we know that it's actually two input NAND gate. One of the input is fixed to A, another input is a control input. So it actually controlling whether this gate will disable or enable, will work or not, no, will function or not function. Let's say my control input is now 0. If I put a 0, as we know that A, either it would be 0 or 1, A will be. So 0 0 means obviously I am getting 1 over here at the output, 1 and 0 I am getting again 1 over here. So what is happening here? What is the output? Output is always getting fixed to 1. So this type of AND gate operation with control input 0, this makes the circuit disable. Okay, disable. This makes the circuit disable. Here, why is it disable? Because output is fixed to logic 1. Output is fixed to logic 1. So whatever we are changing at the input, it's not getting reflected at output, and because of the disable property of the AND gate, so NAND gate. Why is it getting disabled? Because the control input, which is actually we are applying here to 0, make the NAND gate disabled. So it keeping the fix of the logic output Y at 1. Okay. So next part, similarly we can see we can give one of the input to the, that is the control input. If we give this control input to logic 1, then what is happening? Let's say this is another input is A, either 0 or 1. A will be either 0 and 1. So as we know that 0 and 1 is nothing else, it's 1. 1 and 1 is nothing else, 0. So what is actually behaving? It's just inverting. If I'm giving a input 0 here, A 0, then I'm getting output Y, a inverted version. Okay, so this actually enabled my logic circuit, but what it is doing, it actually functioning like a inverter kind of thing. Okay, it's kind of inverter kind of thing. If I give control input 1, okay, then I am achieving a enabled circuit. Why it is enabled? Because output getting changed with respect to the input, given input. That's why it's called enable circuit. Circuit get enabled. Circuit is now working here and circuit is not working here. Okay, so NAND gate, also we know that NAND gate follow commutative law. NAND gate follow commutative law. Okay, commutative law, but it doesn't follow the associative law. Okay, very simple. As you have already seen many things like this, it doesn't follow the associative law. So how it is? So see here, commutative law means, so if I am going to put here, so A B, which actually follows my B and A also, B and A also. So this is also A and B bar, this is also A and B bar. So it actually follows the commutative law. So this actually describes my commutative property of the gate. But distributive law, so there are 3 input A, B, C bar. Okay, so distributive law means what? Actually it is not following actually A, B bar and C bar. Okay, do you all understand, students? Why is it not following? See here, so as we know that we can able to express this A, B, C. So this is my A, B, C. So this is NAND gate. So I am getting obviously A, B, C bar. So if I am going to do this, it will be in this way, A, B. So this is my NAND gate. So this is my A, B bar. And if I am going to apply this to the another NAND gate, this will be C, which is actually nothing else, A, B bar and C bar. So which is not equal to my A, B and C bar. Understand, friends? So that's why it's not following the associative law. Very simple. Okay. So now next one. So what are the gates actually don't follow the associative law? Mainly only 2 gates. Those are actually NAND gate and NOR gate. Only NAND gate and OR gate won't follow the associative law. Won't follow the, does not follow associative law. Understand? Does not follow associative law. Very simple. Okay. So these 2 gates won't follow the associative law. Next point. Again, we'll see the unused input. For this, unused input in NAND gate can be connected similar to unused input in AND gate. So how is it actually unused input? We have seen actually unused input for the AND gate. What way we have finished done for the unused input? So this is the way. So you see these are my used inputs. So in AND gate, what we have done? We have just simply connected to the logic 1. So similarly here also unused inputs also will be connected similar to the unused input in AND gate. Okay, so these are the things, points about the NAND gate. Then we'll move to the next gate. Okay, the next gate will be our NOR gate. Okay, how it will be useful, I'll tell you. NOR gate is also called bubbled AND gate. Okay, it's also called bubbled AND gate. How is it? As we know that my NOR gate will be in this way. It's a OR and not A, B, Y is nothing else, A or B bar. So I can also express this in this way, break the bar and change the operator. Very simple, break the bar and check the operator, change the operator. So see over here, what is I am doing over here now. So what is bubbled AND? So I'm taking a AND gate here. I'm taking a AND gate here and giving the inputs through the bubble. Okay. So obviously if it is A, B, this will be bubble means this is A bar. So bubbled AND gate means, so here what is the output? A bar and B bar. Okay. So this will be the similar functionality. Okay. So NOR gate is similar functionality to the bubble AND gate. Okay. So this is very important question. How to useful, I'll tell you, don't worry. So what is the functionality of NOR gate? Very simple. A, B and Y, 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0 and 1, 1. Obviously 0, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 0, 0. So this is the functionality of the NOR gate. What you can understand from this? When both the inputs are low, when both input is low, the output is high. Okay, the output is high. Both the input is low, the output is high. We can achieve from this NOR gate functionality. Okay, so now see here, we can also NOR gate also can be used as a disable and enable circuit. So see here how is it actually disable and enable. Very simple. We have seen yesterday about it. So it's very simple. So see here, this is my OR gate. This is my NOR gate actually. Sorry student. This is a NOR gate. And this is my control input, obviously control input, and this is my input A. So if I am putting control input 0, what is happening? Whatever may be the input 0, input at A is 0. So what is happening? 0 0, I am getting what actually 1, and 1, if I put 1 1 and 0 is 0. So what you are achieving here? So opposite, if I am giving A here input, I am achieving A bar over here. So this circuit is called as enable functionality of the NOR gate. Okay, so what is actually doing? It's functioning like an inverter, because the output is changing with respect to given input. Okay, NOR gate functionality, the output is changing with respect to the control input. So what it actually, it makes the enable, because circuit is working fine and it's working like an inverter actually. Okay, if control input is 0. Now we'll go for the next part. If my control input is now 1, if my control input is now 1, so if my control input is now 1, if A is 0, then what will happen? If A is 0, output is 0. If A is 1, then also I am getting output is 1. So what is achieving here? Y is fixed to 0. So it makes my circuit disable actually. Okay students, so it makes my circuit disable. Hence it is act like a disable circuit. Why? Because output is not changing, and it fixed to the 0, that's why it's a disabled circuit. Okay, do you all understand? Very simple. Similarly, NOR gate follow commutative law but doesn't follow the associative law. Similarly, NOR gate follow commutative law but not follow the associative law. How? We'll see now. Check it. Associative law. So A or B bar is equal to B or A bar. It holds good. Very simple. We know that. We can also express this the same thing in this point of view. So this is my NOR gate. AB is equal to my BA also. Okay, BA also. This is BA. So this is also A or B bar. This is also my A or B bar. It can be simple. So this actually follows the commutative law. But in case of associative law, see here, A or B or C bar is not equal to A or B bar or C bar. Okay, so how is it? Check it here. So we can see A, B, C. So this is my A, B, C, 3 inputs I have taken. If I have taken the NOR gate A, B, C, so this is my Y, A or B or C bar. But if I'm going to the A or B bar, okay, and finally I'm doing with C bar here, so I'm not going to expect same output A or B or C bar. Okay, so this will be what actually A or B bar, and this will be finally A or B or C bar. Okay, which is obviously not equal to my A or B or C bar. Okay, so what it actually mainly, if I do the De Morgan's law, what it will form actually A bar, B bar and C bar. So this will be actually A or B and C bar, which is obviously not equal to my A or B or C bar. Okay, do you all understand? So very simple. NAND and NOR gate are actually not going to follow the associative law. These two gates are actually not going to follow my associative law. Okay, next, unused input. So similarly, the unused input of NOR gate can be connected similar to the OR gate. Very simple. Okay, so I'm not going to explain much about it. We have seen many unused input things in the previous class. So unused input in NOR gate can be connected to similar to the OR gate. Okay, then we'll move to the next gate, very important gate, XOR gate or XNOR gate. First we'll start with the XOR gate. Okay, so we'll start with the new page anyhow. So this is my next gate, which is XOR gate, which is mainly the exclusive gates, mainly used for arithmetic circuits and mainly used for the error correcting and detecting, and also it will be useful in the code converters and all. So we'll see how these functionalities, and lot of questions actually come up from this. We'll solve today many questions from XOR gate. Please try to understand. Okay, so here, what is exclusive OR gate? So this is my exclusive OR gate symbol. A, B, Y is nothing else is A or X or B. Okay. So what is the functionality says? A, B, Y, 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1. So what it actually get? 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 1, 0. So what it tells actually the XOR gate functionality, when A equal to B, when A equal to B, output is low. When A is not equal to B, then output is high or logic 1, high or logic 1. So it clearly observed here, A is not equal to B and A equal to B, my output, how it appears actually, it's mainly like this. Okay, when A equal to B, my output is low. When A is not equal to B, output is high. So again, XOR gate can also be used in disable and enable manner, but it will gives us very important parameter if I do enabling or disabling the XOR gates. Please see here, very important disable and enable property of the XOR gate. So this is my XOR gate. Okay, and this is, let's say, control input. The control input is, let's say, 0. So this is my A. If A is 0, obviously I am getting what? 0. If A is 1, what I am getting? 1. So what is happening here? The same A is going to be reflected here if my control input is 0. Okay, so if my control input is 0, the same way my whatever input I am giving, that input get reflected over at the output Y. Okay, so this I can say that when XOR gate, if I am giving a control input, okay, at 0, can it be behave like a buffer? Yes, obviously XOR gate will behave like a buffer. I am going to use this many places, student. Please try to understand. Similarly, if I am going to check same thing, if I am going to give one of the control input as 1. So let's say this is A. If A is 0, I'm getting output 1. If A is 1, I'm getting 0 because 1, 1, 0, 0, 1, 1. Okay, so obviously what I'm getting here, whatever I am input giving here, I'm achieving output A bar, opposite inverter output. Okay, so I can say that this actually gives me a inverter operation. Okay, so this circuit of the XOR gives as it is, whatever input I am giving, that producing. Here it's giving the complement of the input, so it behaves like an inverter. Okay, do you all understand? Very simple. So it's not actually at any control input, this circuit is not going to disable my circuit. Okay, XOR gate is only the gate. XOR gate and XOR gate are the gates. It's not going to disable if I'm going to play with my control input. Okay, so very important, I'm going to use this many places. So next part of it, for the XOR gate, it is also called controlled inverter. XOR gate is also called controlled inverter. Okay, very simple, controlled inverter. Why is it controlled inverter? You have seen that when we need, we can give control input 1 and we will play with the input. Okay, it will be controlled inverter. I have my control ability to make my circuit use as an inverter or not. Am I correct, students? So very simple, that's why it's also called controlled. Very important gate point of view, which gate is actually termed as controlled inverter. Okay, so next, some very important concepts I am going to tell here. So please note all the things. So A XOR A, what it will give, students? If A XOR A, what I told XOR gate nothing else. If A equal to B, then I will be getting logic 0. So obviously here both the inputs are same. So obviously what I will get? I'm going to get 0. Now, if I'll make A XOR A bar, what I will get? A XOR A bar. So if A is not equal to B, here it is 0, here B equal to 1. So what I'm getting at output? 1 I'm getting. Similarly, 1 and 0, what I'm getting? 1 I'm getting. So what I will get actually? If A XOR A bar, I'm going to get 1. So it's having very peculiar phenomena. See here, if I'm going to change this over here and I'm going to bring it over here. So what will happen? A XOR 0 will also give us A. Understand? Similarly, if I'm going to change it over here and I'm going to change this thing to here, so it will also give A XOR 1 will give me A bar. Okay, this is very important, student. I'm going to use this concept many places actually. This part, inverter and buffer part, and this part I'm going to use many places. So please try to understand and please try to remember those things actually. How it will be useful, I'm going to tell you now. Okay, now another important concept of the XOR. So see here, if A XOR B is C, then what it will give? Then what is my A XOR C will give? Obviously A XOR C will give me B. Okay, and what B XOR C will give? B XOR C will give me A. Understand? So are you understanding the concept? B XOR C will give me A. Okay, B XOR C will give me A. Next, then what is A XOR B XOR C? A XOR B XOR C will give me 0. So this type of questions you can get in the GATE exams. Okay, so very simple. A XOR B XOR C is going to give 0. Why? Because if A XOR B is C, then what will happen? As you know that A XOR A is what? 0. So as I am doing here, A XOR B what is C. So what will happen? Now A XOR B XOR C, what it will be? Just you need to put A XOR B as C over here. So C XOR C, what I will get? C XOR C will be obviously 0. That only I am doing here, nothing else. Okay, so what actually gives me here one conclusion point, since A XOR A is 0, okay, then what will be A XOR A will give me, students? So this is my 0 XOR A is what? A. Okay, very simple. 0 XOR A is what? A. If you have doubt, you can do that. So you have already done here. 0 XOR A is what? 0 XOR A is A. It's act like a buffer. If one of the input is 0, then it act like a buffer. 0 XOR A is A. Similarly, see here, if A XOR A XOR A XOR A, what it would be? Again it's 0. Why? Because again it will form A XOR A is 0. Understand? So what do you understand from this? And so on. If we'll do like this and so on, what will be happen? So finally I will give you one particular formula, A XOR A XOR A XOR so on. So what it will be give me? It up to n. Now it is actually A if n is odd number. Okay, if n is 3, I am getting the function as it is A. It's act like a buffer. If n is odd, then I am getting output as 0. Understand, students? If n is even, I am getting output 0. If n is even, I am getting output 0. If n is odd number, okay, n is odd number means A. All these are A. So I am getting output will be A. If I am getting even number here, then I am going to get here 0. So this is the peculiar phenomena of XOR gate. Okay, so this is 0 if n is even. So very important point, students. So very important points I have discussed about the XOR. So okay, do you all understand? Now we'll do some of the problems which actually came in the IAS exam 2014. Just see here the question what actually came in the exam. So this is actually IAS 2014. Okay, just see here the circuit shown. Please try to understand the circuit shown in figure contains cascading of 20 XOR gate. Okay, now if X is the input, then output is what? Okay, A 0 B 1 C X D X bar. Okay, so see here what you need to do. The circuit is given like this. Okay, the circuit is actually like this. Okay, like this 20 XORs. This is X. Sorry, this is how X I'll tell you. Don't worry. So this is my inputs. Another input, actually the circuit is like this. Okay, here input is 1 and this is my X. So what do you expect from here? If it is X, it will be my X bar. So this will be my X again. This will be my X bar. Why is it? Because if one of the input of the XOR control input is 1, it will act like a inverter. So now what is happening? If it is one input means odd number, then obviously my output is inverted version. Understand? So now if it is 20 XORs are there, 20 XORs means it's an even number. Even number means what I will get? Obviously it's act like a because it's logic input 1, so it acts like a what? Actually it's act like a buffer type. Okay, because why? I'm getting 20 number of inputs, 20 is a even, so output is output of even XOR gate, even XOR gate. The solution is output of even XOR gate, XOR gate have same output. Okay, same output. Okay, so it will be here X, whatever input you will give, the same output you will observe here, because my X number of XORs are here 20. Understand, students? So we have seen here, so this you can see over here why we get like this. So this is a 2 input and control input I have given here. Okay, so if it is now, it will go to the next, the same thing will go to the next. What will happen? Again I will get the opposite kind of thing. So that is the reason here 20 XOR gets. So for the 20 XOR gets, I'm going to get even number. So even number means the same output will get, actually whatever input will give, the same output will get, because it acts like a buffer. Okay, so now another question I'll do, or before that I'll tell you another thing. Internal diagram of XOR, how is it actually? Internal diagram of XOR gate. So how is it? Please check here. So actually XOR gates are like this. Inside XOR gate it will be like this. Okay, very simple, nothing else. So here, okay, so this is my A, this is my B. So obviously this is my AB bar and this is my A bar B. So obviously I am getting output Y is AB bar and A bar B. Okay, okay, this is my internal. Inside the XOR it will be like this. Okay, it is having 2 AND gates, 2 inverters and a single OR gate. Okay, so XOR gate also follow both commutative X and associative law. XOR gate also follow commutative law, both commutative and associative law. Okay, commutative and associative law. Understand? So very simple. How is it? Please check here. I'm going to tell you very important questions over here now. So see, this is my A, B, C. So this is my XOR gate, obviously A, B, C, which is actually A XOR B XOR C. Now if I'm going to make it like this, A XOR B, and I'm going to take here, so obviously this is my A XOR B and this will be my C, which will be gives me again XOR gate. So this will be A XOR B XOR C. Understand, students? Very simple. So what do you understand from this? The here XOR gate is available only 2 inputs only. Okay, so if I'm going to do that, so always remember in markets mainly XOR gates are 2 input XOR gates are available. So there is no 3 input XOR gates since it's followed the associative law. So it's A XOR B XOR C will be A XOR B. After that, if you do separately with C, it will be also become A XOR B XOR C. So XOR gate actually follows both commutative as well as the associative law. Understand? So what is the truth table? I'm going to tell you very important concept now for this 3 input XOR. Please try to understand. So A, B, C, this is my Y. So this 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 0, 1, 1, 1, 0, 0, 1, 0, 1, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1, 1. Okay. So how is it? So this will be obviously 0, 1, 1, 0. Okay, 0, 1, 1, 0 and 1, 0, 0, 1. The output of XOR gate is 1 when number of ones at the input is odd number. I have already discussed with you students about it. What is that? XOR gate output. The output of XOR gate is 1 when the number of inputs at the XOR, the number of the count, number of inputs, the number of ones at the input is odd number. When number of ones at the input is odd number. Okay, so we'll see that how is it, very peculiar things over now. So how is the logical expression now? If it is 3 input, the logical expression will be like this. So wherever the ones will be there, here, here, here and here. So what will be the sum of expressions? It will be A bar, B bar, C, A bar, B, C bar, A, B bar, C bar, and finally A, B, C. So if I am going to solve this up, so obviously I will be getting what are the min terms over here. I am getting actually min term summation of M, which is nothing else. This is M1, M2, M4, and M7. It will be 1, 2, 4, and 7. So this is actually what this is actually logical expression. This will be actually your sum of product expression, nothing else. These are actually your sum of product expression. The reduced form of this expression is, so this reduced form of this expression is like this: y is A XOR B XOR C. So what do you understand from this, students? If the number of inputs at the, if the number of inputs odd number, okay, so see here it is only one. If you count it, it's only one. If you count it, only one, odd. So if you count it, only one. Here if you count it, only one. How many inputs are there? Three inputs. 3 is a odd. Similarly here only one input, 1 is a odd. Similarly if you count this, one input, so it is a odd. So if it is odd number of inputs at the, odd number of ones at the input, so obviously your output will be 1. Okay, so the next thing, so this is actually about the XOR gate. Do you all understand about the XOR gate? Very simple. First of all, we started with the 2 input XOR, then how it behaves, and when A equal to B, output is low. When A is not equal to B, output is high. And finally we proved here, if number of inputs are odd number of ones, then the output is 1, logic 1, else output is logic 0. Then we'll move to the next part, another gate, which is actually XNOR gate. So some of the books, they will also write like this, XNOR gate. Okay, so which is obviously both are actually representative same way. So XNOR gate is nothing else, A XNOR B. So this is the way, A, B, there is a bubble. Okay, so this is the symbol A XNOR B. So how it actually looks like, the truth table will be nothing else, the representation of input and output. What is the relationship between input and output? So this is 0 0 0 1 1 0 and 1 1. So what is my A XNOR B? It's very simple. So this is 1 0 0 1. So what do you understand from here? Whenever the input same, output is high. Whenever both the input is same, means A equal to B, then whenever A equal to B, then output is 1, logic high. Okay, so what is the SOP expression of it? What is the SOP expression of it? SOP expression means what you have to do, you have, wherever the output is 1, here and here, so it will be A bar B bar, and this will be A B. So what is the SOP expression of A XOR B? XNOR B, which is actually A bar B bar or AB. Okay, similarly what is the POS version of this A XNOR B? What is the POS version? Can anybody? Very simple. You see here, whenever output is 0, those two things you have to take. This is actually your max terms. So what is this max terms? Max terms, I have told you, if it is max terms, 0 will be expressed as uncomplement form. So this is uncomplement form or B bar. Similarly, this one will be A bar or B. So finally my A or B bar and A bar or B. So this is my POS version of the A XNOR B. This is the A XNOR B is SOP version. Okay, do you all understand? Very simple. Now similarly, how about XOR gate? XOR gate is how? So you can able to express also XOR gates POS and SOP by like this, as you have already seen, A bar B or AB bar is actually SOP. The opposite, wherever the 0 is there, those terms, those logic functions you can take and perform the POS. Very simple. So now what do you understand from this? Actually, when A equal to B, A is equal to B, then output is high. Okay, when A equal to B, the output is high. Therefore, this is also called the coincidence logic circuit. Therefore, it is also called coincidence logic circuit. Okay, why is it coincidence logic circuit? Because whenever A equal to B, the output is high. Okay, that's why it's called coincidence logic circuit. Also, it's called equivalent logic detector. Equivalent detector. So what is the meaning of equivalent detector? So let's say there are actually two inputs are given. Okay, so this is my XNOR gate. Okay, if here A and this is my A, two inputs are equal, then I'll get my output is 1. So this type of logic circuit somebody tells actually to design. If there are two inputs A and B, it will give the output 1 when both A and B are equal. So what you need to do, just simply need to associate one XNOR gate over here, nothing else. So it will give me whenever my both A equal to B, then I'll be getting my output logic 1. Okay, that's why it's called equivalent detector. So see, these are the different names of the XNOR gate: coincident logic gate and equivalent detector. Okay, why? Because when A equal to B, I'll be getting my output high. Okay. So now next point, when A is not equal to B, at that time, output is what? The output is low. Okay, very simple. Okay. So now it will be also, we'll see the enable disable property of it, how it would behave actually, whether it's enabling or disabling or not, we're going to see now. So see here, let's say this is my XNOR gate and this is my control input, obviously control input, and this is A. Control input is, let's say, 0. So what is happening here? If A is 0, I'll be getting over here 1. If A is 1, I'll be getting over here 0. As we know that if both the inputs are equal, 0, 0, I'll be getting logic 1. If both the inputs are opposite, I'll be getting logic 0. We have just discussed about it. So what is the phenomena is happening here? Here, the output is actually the inverter of the input. Okay. So this is also called inverter type. If we give logic 0 to the control input of an XNOR gate. Okay. Similarly, we can take another way, which is actually XNOR gate, and control input we are going to give actually 1. If we'll give control input 1, what will happen? As you know that if it is 0, obviously it is 0. If it is 1, it is 1. So what is happening here? Output Y is A. So this is act like a buffer. Just ulta, students. And for the XOR gate, if control input is 0, then it will act like a buffer. For XOR gate, if control input is 1, it will act like a inverter. Similarly, here it's just opposite. What is happening? If control input is 0, it will act like a inverter for XNOR gate. Similarly, if control input is 1, then it will be getting, it act like a XNOR gate is act like a buffer. Okay. So any doubt on this? So next part, we'll move to the next part. So similarly, what do you understand from this? I'm going to give you another some note over here. So very simple. So A XNOR A, what is that? If both the inputs are equal, then I'll be getting logic 1. Okay. Now, if both the inputs are not equal, means 0 and 1, 1 and 0. So what I'm getting over here? Logic 0. Very simple. So now, this also gives me the same thing. So if I can take this way and this way, this will give me A XNOR 1 will give me A. Okay. Similarly, A XNOR 0 will give me A bar. Okay. So this is very important. A XNOR 0 gives me A bar. A XNOR 1 will gives me A. So these are the things we are going to use actually today. Don't worry. So what do you understand from this actually? Since A XNOR A is 1, now tell me what is A XNOR A and XNOR A? What it would be? It is what actually? This will be my 1 XNOR A is what actually? It's A. Just now we have done. What is that? Here. Control input is 1. Then obviously, so how we got A XNOR A is what? 1 XNOR A. Obviously, what actually we have seen over here? 1 XNOR A is I'm getting it's like a buffer. So I'm getting here A. Do you understand? Now next, if I do again A XNOR A XNOR A XNOR A 4S, then what I will get? Again it's 1. Okay. So and so on. So this is very important property of XNOR. So what is the final formula we achieved? A XNOR A XNOR A XNOR A XNOR A. Okay. For n is equal to 1 if n is even. Okay. And it is 0, it is A, and it is A if n is odd. Okay, so we have seen the same kind of similarity type of things over there in XOR. What is that time we have we got actually? If we are getting A if n is odd, Okay, if these are the things A, XOR A, XOR A, XOR A, like this up to n number. So what I am getting? If it is 1, if n is even, so it is 0. If it's 0, if n is even. Similarly, it is actually A if n is odd. These things I am going to use many times in my problem, students. You please remember this. So if somebody asks like this, some of the questions in competitive exams will come like this, like many number of inputs will be given like this. Okay, okay, these are all they will give to the one XOR, and they will tell that, so let's say this is A like this. So you need to count over here how many A's are there, how many inputs are there over here. 1 2 3 4 5. So here it is 5 inputs. So 5 inputs means it's a odd. If it is odd, what will be the my output, students? Very simple. If it is odd, it is A. Okay, so you are not going to find out what actually. If you know this formula, if you know this concept, this is very simple. Okay, this is the way you can utilize it actually. Understand? Now the next thing. Any doubt, students, till now? Okay, if there is no doubt, we'll go to the next part. So very important concepts, please try to understand. Okay, next thing, XOR and XNOR is not always complement. This is very important concept I am telling. XOR and XNOR, I am going to prove this also. XNOR is not always complement. Is not always complement. Okay, it is complement only when it is complement. Please unmute, students. Okay, so it is complement only. It is complement only when the number of input is even. Okay, and if input is odd, the XOR and XNOR, are same. So what do you meaning of it? Very important point, students. So what is told, what I am telling here, this point, A XOR B XOR C. So this is what actually the number of inputs are what? 3. 3 is what? Odd. If 3 is odd, if number of inputs are actually odd, for XOR is actually XNOR, same. A XNOR B XNOR C. Okay. Now if number of inputs now even, let's say A XOR B XOR C XOR D. How many inputs now? 4. 4 inputs means it's a even. If it is even, then obviously my A XNOR B XNOR C XNOR D is a complement. This is same, this is complement. Do you all understand, students? So what I have described here, very important concept I have described. What is that? If the number of inputs are odd, then A XNOR B XNOR C is equal to A XOR B XOR C. If there are 4 inputs, means there is even number of inputs, then A XOR B XOR C XOR D is complement to A XOR B XOR C XOR D. Okay, both are complement to each other if number of inputs are even. This is the very important point. If number of inputs are even, then both are complement to each other. If number of inputs are odd, then both are equal to each other. XOR functionality is equal to XNOR functionality. Okay, very important concept, students. Okay, so now we'll do some problem here. So see, let's say the question is find expression of A XNOR B XNOR C. So how much you will get? Obviously as I have told you now, if it is how many inputs? 3 inputs. 3 inputs means what? It's a odd. If it is odd, what it would be? I will get obviously A XOR B XOR C. Okay, so how we'll prove it now? Okay, prove it. How to prove it? Very simple. As I am going to tell A XOR B XOR C. This is my LHS given to me. So I am going to take, first I am going to elaborate this two. As we know that internal thing, what is that? A bar B bar or AB. So this will be XOR with C. Am I correct, student? Very simple. Next, what I am going to do? Again, I am going to apply XOR between these two. Let's say this is my X, this is my Y. So I'm going to apply x nor y. What it would be? X bar, x nor y bar, or xy. I'll get like this. So let x is like this. X is nothing else, a bar, b bar, or ab I have taken. Y I have taken as c. So what I will get? So I'll just going to put over there, nothing else, a bar, b bar, or ab whole bar. Okay, and y bar is c bar, or xy. X is what? A bar, b bar, or ab, and c. So this much only I'll get, students. Very simple. Okay. Next, what I will do, if I'm going to elaborate this, what it will be? Let's say, what is this? I'm going to tell you. So let's say I'm going to solve this one first. How I'm going to solve it here? Check it. A bar, b bar, or ab whole bar. What it would be? Can I apply the De Morgan's theorem here, or can I write down? This is actually what it actually. It's a x nor b whole bar. Am I correct? Because a bar, b bar, or ab is my ax nor b. So as we know that ax nor b bar is what actually? Ax or b, which is actually a bar b or ab bar. So what do you achieve? This total is my form of a bar b or ab bar. Understand, students? Very simple. Why I have done like this? Because this is, as we know that if number of inputs are odd, I'm going to prove that my number of inputs are odd, then a x nor b x nor c is a x or b x or c. I'm going to prove that. That's why I'm just elaborating this, nothing else. Okay, so we know this thing actually. Okay, so I'm going to apply here those things. So this will be my a bar b or a b bar and c bar. Okay, or this is my, obviously as it is a bar b bar or a b and c. Now what I'm going to do here, very simple, I'm going to apply the distributive law over here, but nothing else. A bar b c bar, or a b bar c bar, or a bar b bar c, or a b c. So this is what actually, if you see the truth table of a XOR B XOR C, 3 input A XOR B XOR C, what it would be? If you see this, which is nothing else, A XOR B XOR C, if I am going to see this truth table, what it is? 0 0 0 0 0 1 0 1 0 0 1 1 1 0 0 1 0 1 1 1 0 1 1 1. So what I have told you, if number of inputs are if the number of inputs are counts are odd, then I will be getting output 1. So here the number of ones are odd, that is the count is 1, so I am getting output 1. Here also 1, number of counts of the inputs are 1, so I am getting output here 1. So here also 1, and at the end I am getting 1, and other places all are 0. Okay, so if I am going to express this y in this form, what it will give? A bar b bar c, next a bar b c bar, next a b bar c bar, and finally a b c. I'm getting like this. So which is nothing else, my ax or bx or c. That's why I have written this expression directly, ax or bx. So what I have proved finally, students, if the number of inputs, okay, are odd, 3 is odd, then my XOR gate is equal to the X NOR gate. Okay, A X NOR B X NOR C is equal to the A XOR B XOR C. Very important concept, student, I have explained. So we'll see one important, very important question now, which actually came 3 times actually in the GATE exam. So see here, it came actually GATE 2009 and IES also 2014 and JTO 2009. So we'll see solve this question actually. What? Minimize, let's say this question is given like this, A, B, C, and Y is given here 0 0 0 0 0 1 0 1 0 0 1 1 1 0 0 1 0 1 1 1 0 1 1 1. Okay, so this is the question, and what is y has been given here for this particular truth table? The y is given like this 1 0 0 1 0 1 1 0. Okay, what is given here? The choices are A XOR B XOR C, B is A X NOR B X NOR C, C is A X NOR B, X NOR C bar, and D choice is AB, BC, and AC. Understand? Minimize this. Just it has been given to you truth table. Minimize this. So see here, for XOR, what is happening? Output is 1 when odd number of ones are there. So see here, if it is what actually, this is actually what? Odd number of ones are there here, but output is 0. Am I correct, students? So can it be, my output will be A XOR B XOR C bar? Can it be like this? Obviously, am I correct, students? It will be A XOR B XOR C bar. Because why it is like this? Because what we know that in XOR, for XOR, very important, try to understand the solution I am doing. For XOR, what is happening? If output is 1, when odd number of ones at the input. Am I correct, students? But in the truth table, what it is showing? It is showing whenever there is odd number of ones. Here, how many ones are there? Only one is there. One means it's odd. Similarly, here only odd number of ones. What is there at that time? Logic 0. Okay. Similarly, here odd number of ones. Here what is happening? Odd number of ones, logic 0. Here what is happening? Odd number of ones, logic 0. But for the even cases, what is happening here? For the even cases, I am getting logic 1. Okay. So what I can say here, can it be just opposite of the complement of the A XOR B XOR C? Can it be my output is A XOR B XOR C complement? Obviously yes. But in the question, there is no option like this, A XOR B XOR C. It's not given. So it's given A XOR B XOR C, but complement of A XOR B XOR C is not given. But we know one very important concept. What is the important concept? Here, how many input? 3 input. 3 input means odd number of inputs. Am I correct? Odd number of inputs. Okay. If it is odd number of inputs, what I told you, A XOR B XOR C is nothing else. A XOR B and XOR C. Okay. So I can also write this output Y is in the form of A XOR B XOR C whole bar. So is it given? My output is given? Obviously given, C. So the answer is C. So it's very important question, students. So what do you actually check? The output XOR. Here output XOR should be 1 when odd number of ones will be there. But here during odd number of ones, I am getting output logic 0. So obviously this circuit actually, if I am going to draw, this circuit actually performs my opposite of the A XOR B XOR C. Okay. So if for even number of ones, it's actually giving me output. For odd number of 1 counts, it's not giving output. Output is 0. That's why I can also express this output Y in this way, A XOR B XOR C whole bar. And we know that this is actually 3 input. 3 inputs is odd number of inputs. And we know that A XOR B XOR C is nothing else, A XOR B XOR C. So I can also just put those things over here, A XOR B XOR C whole bar. So it is present over here. So this will be my answer. Okay. Very simple and very important question, students. Okay. So next one, XNOR gate. So try to understand, very simple. XNOR gate is even number of ones detector. Okay. Detector. When number of inputs are even, logic 1 you will get. Okay. So next, XNOR gate is odd number of ones detector when number of inputs are odd. Okay, what do you understand? XNOR gate is even number of ones detector when number of inputs are even. So both the functionalities are possible for the XNOR students. What do you understand? XNOR gate is an even number of ones detector when number of inputs are even. When XNOR gate is odd number of input ones detector when number of inputs are odd. So that's why XNOR gate has a functionality of both. It can detect the even number of ones and odd number of ones depending upon the number of inputs it has. Okay, if it is number of inputs are even, then XNOR gate is a even number of ones detector. If number of inputs are odd, then it will be XNOR gate is a odd number of ones detector. We have proved already here. Understand? So next part, very important. So this type of question you can expect. Prove that A XOR B, A bar XOR B is A XOR B. Okay, so you need to prove it. How? Just simple, take this, put X is here A bar and Y is nothing else, it's B. So if I'm going to prove over here, so what it will be, let's say X XOR Y, what it will be, X Y bar or X bar Y. So I'm going to put those things over here. This is A bar, Y bar is nothing else B bar, X bar is nothing else A bars bar, Y is nothing else B. So obviously this is A bar B bar or AB. Why is it A? Because as per the involution theorem, A bars bar is A. Okay, so obviously this is what type of output? This is a XNOR B's output. So what do you understand? What I have taken X, I have taken X as A bar and this is XOR with Y as B. So what we have proved, A bars B, A bar XOR B is nothing else A XNOR B. Okay, very simple. Similarly, prove that A XOR B bar is also A XOR B. Okay, so how to do the same way? Here put X is equal to A and Y is equal to B bar, and we know that X XOR Y is nothing else X Y bar or X bar Y. You can say this will be A B bars bar, this is A bar and B bar. Okay, so obviously this is what AB and this is A bar B bar. I can also express this in the form of A bar B bar or AB, and which is nothing else A XNOR B. Understand? So LHS equal to RHS, golden formula, hence proved. Okay, so now one more very important question. So see here, A XOR B XOR AB, what it would be? Okay, so see here what we can do, very simple. So these two things, first to convert these two things in this form, A B bar or A bar B. I can write down this way with XOR AB. So if I am going to apply again XOR here, what it would be? A B bar or A bar B with A B bar, or A B bar or A bar B whole bar and A B. So this is very simple, X Y bar or X bar Y. So this is again I have put the, this is X, let's say this is Y. So X Y bar X bar Y. Okay. So now what I am going to do here, this will be A B bar or A bar B. So I'm just applying De Morgan's theorem here. If I apply the De Morgan's theorem, what will happen? This will be break the bar, change the operator. Very simple. Similarly, here I'll keep as it is this one. Let's say here what I will do, I am going to use this also here, De Morgan's theorem. What it would be? It will be A B bar, sorry, A B bar. This will be obviously A B bar and this will be A bar B bar with AB. Just I have applied the De Morgan's theorem, nothing else. Very simple. Okay, wherever the whole bars are there, I have just break the bar, change the operator, nothing else. Okay, here I have applied one De Morgan's theorem, here I have applied one De Morgan's theorem, and I have written over here, nothing else. Next, what I am going to do, can I write down this way? This will be my A B bar or A bar B with A bar. Understand? Very simple, with A bar. Okay, and also I can write down this one A B bar or A bar B with B bar. Okay, just I have applied the distributive law, nothing else between these two. Okay, similarly here I can do, this will be my like A bar. Again I can apply the De Morgan's theorem in these two. Obviously, how is it? A bar or B bars bar. Okay, and this will be end as it is A bars bar or B bar. I'm again applying De Morgan's law in these two. So I have achieved for the De Morgan's law this, For this I am achieved De Morgan's law this, and finally this will be end with AB. Am I correct, students? Very simple. Just I am applying De Morgan's laws and distributive theorems, nothing else. So here I can make AB bar A bar. What is that? A B bar A bar. This will be my A bar B. This will be my A B bar B bar, or A bar B B bar. And this one also, how I can do? I can again make the distributive law on this. So this will become B bars bar is B. So I can make it like this. Let's say I'll, in order to avoid the confusion, this is B, this is A or B bar, and this is AB. Okay. So this, as we know, A bar is what? 0, because we know that A bar is 0. Okay. So this will be 0, and this will be B bar also 0. So finally what I got? And A bar is what? A bar. This is A bar B, and finally this is AB bar. Okay. Here I have put two theorems actually. What is that? A bar is 0, and also we have achieved A is A. Okay. With these two things I have got this. From these four terms I have got these two terms. Next I'm going to apply here also De Morgan as a distributive law. A bar. Okay. This will be B bar A bar B bar. Okay. Plus AB or B bar. Okay. And EB. So this will be A bar 0, B bar 0. Just I am getting over here what? It will be A bar B or AB bar, or this will be your A bar B bar or AB, and this is AB. If I am again apply the distributive law between these two, what will happen? This is as it is A bar B AB bar. This will be my A bar B bar B, and this is my AB. Okay, just I have applied again distributive theorem, nothing else. Okay, so A bar is not 0, this will be 0. AB is nothing else, my A bar B AB bar. AB is nothing else AB. Why? Because we know that A any times of A, it is A. Okay, so finally what I have achieved here, I can make this to rearrange this equation to apply again distributive law. A bar AB, A bar B or AB, and this is AB bar as it is. So here I can make like A or A bar with B, and this is AB bar. Am I correct, students? So this will be A bar is B. So this will be AB bar. So this finally, if I again apply the distributive theorem, here what I have applied, I just applied A bar is 1, and also I have applied A and 1 is A. Okay, after that I got this. Okay, next I can again apply the distributive law B or A. This will be B or B bar. Okay, so I have applied distributive law again here, and here I can do this A or B, and this B or B bar is 1. Okay, here I have applied commutative law as well as A or A bar is 1. Okay, and finally what I have achieved? A or B. So what do you understand from this? A XOR B XOR AB is A or B. So this is also very important, students. Some of the like this you are going to apply this thing in your problems actually. Okay, so it is A XOR B will be there, and the third term will be the AND gate as a XOR. Then simply you have to do this as a or B. Okay, that's why I have proved here, nothing else. Okay, so we'll do last one question, then we'll leave it up for today's class. So the question is one of the very important questions, students. So try to understand. So in the given circuit, let's say the circuit is like this. Okay, it's actually what type of circuit? Check it. So this is A, this is B bar. Similarly, another thing is given here. This is actually A bar and B. It will goes to XNOR gate Y. So what is Y? Okay. So your choices are A0, B1, C, A XOR B, D, A XNOR B. So what you have to do here, it's very simple. What you need to do, what it will be the expectance of the output here? A XOR B bar. Am I correct, students? This will be what? A bar XOR B. And finally, what is output Y? The output Y, I am going to write over here. Check it. A XOR B bar, okay, A XOR B bar, okay, and A bar XOR B, okay. Okay, all of you understand? Any doubt on this? So what do you know? A XOR B bar is what actually? A XOR B bar, can I write down this A XOR B? We have already proved it. Okay, A XOR B bar is nothing else, A XOR B. We have already proved it. Okay, with XOR A XOR B. This is also A XOR B. We have proved already. So what if it is both X XOR X? What will you get actually? X XOR X, 1. We have already proved it actually. X XOR X is 1. So what is the output, students? 1 is the output. Okay, this is the way the questions will actually come. Okay, any doubt on this? Very important question, students. This is the way the questions will come. They will give the logic circuits like this with XOR gates, and finally one XOR gate. You will be getting what is the output actually. So it will be like this. Okay, so we know that this actually we have already proved. Okay, this actually we have already proved. A XOR B bar is nothing else, A XOR B. A bar XOR B is also A XOR B. So here, if both the inputs are equal, I have taken X. X XOR X is what I have already proved. If both the inputs are same, I'll be getting logic high. Output is logic high. So my output is 1 finally. Okay, so there is no doubt. Understand, students? Very simple. So next, last part actually, how the symbols are different symbols. This is the last thing for today's class, symbols. So what is the symbols? Let's say this is a NAND gate. How the NAND gate actually? A, B. Okay, so this is my A, B. I can write down this AB bar. Also, I can make it bubbled or. So we have already seen this. Already we have seen this. This is also my bubbled or, which is actually A bar. So this is AB. This will be A bar or B bar. As you know that as per De Morgan's law, this is AB bar. So these two equations are holds equal. So this will be both are NAND gate. Okay. So this is called bubbled or. This is also, you know that this is NAND gate. Okay. Now next symbol. What is NOR gate symbol? The NOR gate symbol will be very simple. This will be the NOR gate symbol, which is nothing else. AB, Y is A or B bar, which is also equal to bubbled AND gate. So this is bubbled AND gate. Okay. So this is my A, B. Obviously, I am getting here A bar and B bar. As we know that A bar and B bar is A or B bar. So these are equal now. Okay. So this is the way. So this is my NOR and bubbled AND. Both are similar. Okay. Bubbled AND. So last third one, AND gate. So how the AND gate will be? AND gate will be very simple. This is my AB. Y is AB. Okay. So which is equal to my bubbled NOR actually. Okay. So this is like this. So bubbled NOR. See how is it? So this is my bubble NOR. A, B. So what is I am expecting here? A bar or B bar whole bar. What is this actually? If I prove it, A bars bar and B bars bar. So this is A and B. Understand, students? So this is bubbled NOR. Bubbled NOR. Okay. So AND gate is equal to bubbled NOR. Okay. Fourth one, the last one, A XOR B. So similarly, what you can guess here, how is it? It will be obviously bubbled AND. So how it will be, see here, very simple. I'm just putting over here like this, bubbled NAND, bubbled NAND. So see here, this will be A, B. Here it is A bar and B bar whole bar. So if I apply De Morgan's theorem, A bars bar or B bars bar. So A bars bar is A or B. So this will be what? Bubbled NAND. So what do you understand here? Very simple. NAND gate will be bubbled or, NOR gate will be bubbled AND gate will be bubbled NOR, and OR gate will be bubbled NAND. Understand, student? For this today's class, this much only. So I'm going to stop the screen.